Hi everyone, this is Twinkle, and today I'm just going to talk a bit on how can we do our part to create an environment or to contribute to an environment which encourages communications based on vulnerability, and also accepting and embracing vulnerability of us as well as of others. So in last 2 weeks we saw a lot of events, especially which were tragic, and there were a lot of Facebook posts pouring in with people writing or copy pasting Facebook status like, I am there to hear, I can listen, I'm all ears, and I'll rather hear your sad story than your funeral. So there were a lot of posts like this. So I'm not sure whether they are the right person to whom someone should open up to, but it's definitely something that's a good change. Now here is something, because I believe that a vulnerable conversation should be just normal part of conversations. Definitely yes, not we don't open up because not all people are the right ones. And what is something that we can do our own by our own self to create this environment that's very supportive of vulnerable conversations, because vulnerability is something that's very valid. It's a part of human feelings, and I know a lot of our conditioning has been to shame vulnerability, where we have grown up considering that vulnerability is something that we should be ashamed of, or we should not talk about it much, or it's something that is related with low self-worth, and that's the reason why a lot don't talk more about it. So first of all, if anyone, which is actually never the case, so growing up is a lot of unlearning. So one of the thing that I feel is we can do is be mindful of the words that we use when anyone else is opening up about their reality, their version of reality, which can be sad, which can be happy, or anything. So by mindful of words, I mean using words like, oh, that's so coward, you are coward, or you are being silly, you're being oversensitive, you are just sticking to your past, you are being a victim. So these are actually the words. These are not words, these are labels. These are judgments we are giving on someone when they are actually putting that trust on us and are opening up about their any experience to us, right? And what we are doing is not listening, not being empathetic, but rather giving a label that is cowards, oversensitive, overreacting, or making a mountain out of a mole. So you shouldn't. So why? Because it's like we are trivializing the experience, we are invalidating the experience of that person or whatever they are feeling, and we are making that person feel that their experiences, their feelings don't matter, it's not valid. And it is harmful because it makes them shut down. And when people shut down, they also resist their emotions. And when a person accepts their emotions or what they feel, be it good or bad, it does way better than suppressing it or pushing it away. Okay, so this is one of the biggest thing, because when we say use these words like, oh, you're so coward because of this experience, or oh, you only have all problems, or this or that, or you're an attention seeker, you're a crybaby. When we use these words, it makes the other person feel guilty for opening up, and they don't. And it's not about you, it's not about they don't open up to you. Then a lot of times it happens that a lot of people then completely shut down, they don't open up to anyone, even if maybe they could have opened up to a lot of different friends, different people who are not exactly going to use those labels, right? So this is one thing. Now the second thing is that a lot of times we're going to hear stories from people, narratives of people which we won't understand because we have not walked their life for even 5 minutes, right? So the idea behind it is, do not dismiss what you don't understand. We might not be always in a position to understand what someone is going through, but again, not to be dismissive. Just hearing out is a great thing, because it's like just providing a platform where someone can be unmasked, and which is a very rare thing in today's world, yet not impossible. So just to hear, just to validate what someone feels, and not trivialize, not dismiss that, not dismiss and not use any gaslighting techniques like I know it's unintentionally also done sometimes, but it's still very hurtful that, oh, it's all in your head. Oh, you're only feeling like this, others don't feel like this. So comparison is something that is so bad. Never ever compare. If someone opens up about their experience something, never use comparisons like, oh, so and so did not feel like this, or never say that, oh, you should not be feeling like this, you should be grateful rather. So this words like you should not be feeling sad, you should not be feeling this and that is, again, no matter with what intentions you use, good intentions that you say, it is again derogatory, because it again makes the person feel very guilty of rather feeling sad. So instead of they have opened up to feel good, they land up feeling bad after that, right? And I feel these are just, we have to be mindful about these things. Then comes suggesting a therapist. Like, therapists can help in working with complex emotions and resolving a lot of emotions. And I think, yes, referring a therapist to your friend, your anyone who opens up about something that's really vulnerable and something that they are really struggling with. I have my own personal experience here. When someone has opened up to me and I felt that yes, it's a difficult thing, they're having a difficulty for a long time to resolve it, to arrive at their authentic emotions. I had said that, okay, you should go to a therapist, and I understood that it was not taken in a right way, because yes, sometimes a person can feel that, oh, just because they are opening up, they can feel that they are a burden, and that's why they are being referred to a therapist. So I never meant in that way. So after that, I became very mindful of not using words like you should go to a therapist, and I became mindful to use words like, you can explore a therapist and these are the benefits, and you can do it at your own pace. So that is one of the thing. Another way we can be very supportive of conversations about vulnerability is when we accept our own vulnerability, when we are not ashamed of our vulnerability, when we accept it, when we consider it as very human, something that is not bad. When we hold space for our own vulnerability, it's only that time we can hold space for someone else's vulnerability, right? So we can see it as normal. We don't catastrophize it when someone opens up about their vulnerability. Like, for example, I'll tell you something, like a lot of people who are uplifting themselves, like they uplift others, even they are vulnerable humans, and when they open up, never to make them feel like, oh, how can this happen to you? Oh, you're so uplifting, you're so strong. I think no, please, I mean, come on. Anyone who is uplifting people is somewhere down also looking for that reciprocity from others. We do what we give, we also at some point of time we do want it from others too. We do look for that. So that's one of the thing. And lastly, I would say that in this last 2 weeks, it's completely okay that people opened up about their experiences. Many said that, many put up in Facebook that nothing happens with therapists and psychiatrists, nothing happens, they don't do anything, it just doesn't work. I felt that sending that message out is very problematic, because whatever we put out, we are influencing others. So when someone else comes across it, a lot of times we just take away that last hope from a person, right? So here is something that I want to say, that if your experience with one therapist, with one doctor is bad, it doesn't mean the entire thing does not work, right? So we have to be very mindful with what we put out, in a platform or anywhere, right? And it's just like something that works for me does not work for someone else. So, or something that does not work for me might work for someone else. So being mindful to not project our own resistance to someone who opens up about their vulnerability, about their reality, about any complex emotion, to not that time to not project our own resistance, to not project our own I think bias. Yes, we all have some bias to some degree. To not completely dismiss it, and not impose, not pressurize, not make it look like the other person is the problem. So the message behind is to deliver, to be there, to deliver every word with kindness, a lot of gentleness, and a lot of hope, because that's what the other person is looking for, and it uplifts them. So the entire, I think, the result of the conversation, the product, is something that's a win-win for both, right? does uplift someone with when we deliver what we want to say, or we just hear with a lot of kindness, with a lot of hope, and give a lot of hope to the other person, and also are very gentle, very patient, because others are not our idea of entitlement, that we can be very forceful or rush them up with how we want to see them. And also not saying things like please be happy, and others are not our entitlement of happiness, or not our image of happiness, or how we want to see them happy and something like that. It's important to be very patient when we deal with someone. And yes, other thing is that I have personally seen that to be someone who just also listens and does not deny others' reality needs to be someone who works on their own self. That is also, it's important. By own self I mean to say that emotionally strong, emotionally secure, and also does not accepts own vulnerability, or does not see vulnerability as something that is weak or something that is bad, something that is shameful. Only then we can not we can be strong enough to just hear out others' vulnerability without dismissing it. Or sometimes if we are dismissing, it's also because we have been dismissed and we are just mimicking that behavior to others. So that's why I said that it's important to be mindful. It's important to know what effect it will have on the other person. And lastly, I would like to say that if anyone it's always better to always, sometimes if anyone feels like reaching out to a therapist is something better, at least you will say, you will not feel guilty about saying you will not ever feel guilty about opening up, because you're paying at least, and it's very professional. Now it's a different work. I mean that is a work where someone is working with their complex emotions, or something that is a really true resolution, something that's really true resolve that happens there. So that's how and that too is, again I would say, that too is possible when we first encourage vulnerability, we first encourage work around vulnerability, and we don't push it away. So I think that's the very core, the very first step towards accepting or creating a culture around vulnerability.